Okay, so here we are, section 2.3. Let me write down minus 6y plus 2 equals negative 4, 2y plus 4. Negative 4, 2y plus 4. And this is 2.3, section 2.3. Question number 1. So it's more of the same. It's more of the same. They're just going to do more mixing around of all the operations. It's just the same thing, just kind of beefed up a little bit more. So let's do the same stuff. The same three steps that are on the board. Clear fractions, right? It's the same steps. I'll write them down here again. The steps. Number 1, clear fraction. Step 2, do your adding, subtracting. Step 3, divide by the number in front of x. So there's the steps. We follow the same steps. So step 1, clear fractions. We don't have any fractions. So, but we do have parentheses. So you do have to go through the parentheses. Yeah, so go ahead and go boom, boom, right? You know all about that. Distribute through those parentheses. So you can get y alone. Good to there. What do we do now with y's on opposite sides like that? What do we always do when the x or the y or whatever is on opposite sides? We do the opposite, right? Opposite sides do the opposite. The opposite of which one? The lower one, which is minus 8, huh? So what's the opposite of him? Add 8y. Is that making sense? Getting the hang of that? So we add 8y to both those. And these cancel, right? So it's getting easier. Whenever you have x's or y's on opposite sides, we do the opposite. Like that. And that'll give us 2y plus 2 is minus 16. And now what? Y is saying I want to be alone. So what do we do to get y alone? So Y is saying I want to be alone on my side of the wall. Over here on my side of the wall. So we're going to get rid of that 2, huh? Subtract the 2. So then, what do we have? These cancel. 2y is minus 18. Okay, good. Last step. Divide by 2. Y is minus. Last step is always divide, isn't it? Last step is always divide by the number right in front of x. Same sign, same everything. Negative 9. Is that good? Starting to get more comfortable? Questions I can answer? I move along. We good? All right. Okay, so there's number 5. Let me rewrite it nicer for you. 3 halves x plus 5 halves. Plus 5 halves equals minus 1 half. And that's number 5. Okay. So try that one. So step 1, clear fractions, right? So get rid of those fractions. Like that multicolor and everything? Good notes.
Yeah. Trying. So,
I know what's up.
Multiply through by 2. Is that working? 2, 2, 2, right? Multiply everybody by 2. For those of you racing ahead, I put another section up this afternoon for you. It's all word problems. That's section 2.5. Put that up. If you're looking for more work, that's not on this exam. That's material we'll do after the exam. 2.5, yeah. 2.4 and 2.5. Yeah, 2.4 and 2.5 are up. Yeah, I put up 2.5 like about an hour before class. It's all word problems. You can jump into it if you want to. How many what? On 2.5? I don't know. Maybe 15. I think there's 15. Jose's there. He'll tell you.
Awesome.
Are there 15? Is that how many there are? 15? 15. I always know. No, I just guess. All right, so step 1, clear fractions, right? Multiply through by 2. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Good? So what's left? 3x, 5 minus 1. There's the wall. Easy enough so far? X is saying I want to be alone on my side of the wall. That's what he's always saying. He wants to be alone on his side of the wall. So what do we do next? So we already got rid of the fractions. Right now, step 1, no more fractions. They all cancel. Much better, much easier, huh? So we get rid of those in the first step. Now X wants to be alone on his side of the wall.
yeah, minus 5.
So we do the minus 5. Gonzo. And so that brings down the 3x. And the other side, what is that, minus 6? If you lose $1 and lose $5, you lost $6. Last step to get X alone. Divide by the 3. X is minus 2. This getting easier? These are the hardest things that will be on the exam in a week. So if you can do this, you can do anything on the exam. Good on that? Questions? Okay, so I would just use my calculator and just multiply like these two together. Just find out what that is. Just use a calculator for decimals.
And then add the zeros. 1, 2, 3, and then you move 1, 2. That's 50.
So is it 4.5? Is that 4.5 there? Like that, right?
0.007.
Good so far. So keep going. X, what is X saying? What he's always saying, I want to be alone on my side of the wall. Right? So what's our next step? Subtract the 4.5. Then just use your calculator. You need to, or do it by hand. Yeah. And I think you said that's beautiful. And then just divide those in your calculator. I think they just want to guess the answer. Just divide them in your calculator. Yeah, when you're all done, just divide the answer in your calculator. They want the final answer that way. 46, I think. I think 46 is the answer. Okay, so X is saying I want to be alone on my side of the wall, so subtract 4.5 from both. Bring this down. What is that, 23? Good so far? And now, X is saying I want to be alone. So what's always the last step on every solving problem? Last step is always divide by exactly what's in front of X. Just exactly. Same sign, same number, same everything. Exactly what's in front of X. 0.50. You know, not the X itself, huh? By the way, that's the other mistake that I see sometimes. I'll see people go like that. Why? I don't want it. I don't want the X there, huh? Why? Because that would make the X cancel out. I don't want X to go away. I just want the 0.50 to go away. Right? You with me? Don't confuse that with when we add and subtract to both sides. That's when we use the X. Right? I'm not trying to get rid of the X. I'm just trying to get rid of the 0.50. Is that good? So just divide that on both sides. Use your calculator. 46. Just divide in your calculator. 23 divided by 0.50 be 46.
I have a question on that Casio calculator that you recommended. When they divide it,
And it gives a fraction answer.
Yes.
Hit SD.
SD, okay.
Translates between the answers. Yeah, if you have the Casio National Display, hit that little lower right corner, or I mean not lower right, but kind of in the right side, somewhere in the middle. SD, there's an SD button. That rotates between decimals, fractions, and everything. Good on that one? Questions on that one? So, number 7. 8x plus 5 7 equals 9 7. Equals 9x plus 1 7. Okay, so more fractions. So you guys were wanting a couple more fractions? Here we go. Here's more fractions. That work? You guys find that button? All good? You got a test in that line? Deal. So first step, what's the first step on this one? Clear those fractions. Clear those fractions. Multiply through. Multiply through by 7, right? And these cancel, don't they? Make sure you cancel. Show the canceling, because that's why we're doing it, to get those to cancel. It's coming out okay. I think you forgot the X here.
Yes. Okay, the number is at the bottom. You slash it and leave the one alone.
Or you can like number from top to bottom. That's when it's not equal. We will do that. We have that. That's when it's not equal.
You need to let both sides of the equation.
Just what's on the bottom. Yeah, just what's on the bottom. All the way across the list. Won't let out every chair. Right. So wherever the 7 decimal cancel out. Yeah, making sense? So it's just cancel out. But here it did. Yeah. That's why I wanted everybody to show that canceling. So you don't accidentally make 35 there. He's not there anymore. You can cancel it out.
Oh, the 5 gets dropped.
And see why? So that gets rid of that denominator. And that's why we're doing it, because we don't want any fractions anymore. So he does his job and gets rid of that. You know, I used to make a saying. Maybe it'd be helpful to you. Let's keep going. So now, what's the next step? We have x on opposite sides. What do we do with x on opposite sides?
We take the smaller.
Yeah, when we have x's on opposite sides, we do the opposite of the smaller, right? So get rid of that 56x. And whatever you do to one side, do to the other. All right, so then what do we get? These cancel out. Bring down the 5, and then we say, what is that, 4, 7? 7x. Good there, just subtract those. Not making sense? That's what we always do, right? When we have x's on opposite sides, we do the opposite of the lower one. Okay, we're down to here. X is yelling out, I want to be alone on my side of the wall. So what do we do to get x alone there? Yeah, because x wants to be alone on his side. We've got to get rid of that 1, and then eventually the 7. We save the thing right next to x for last, don't we? So subtract the 1. And what do we get there? These cancel, and we get 7x 4. Last step is always, on every one of these, is to divide by exactly what's next to x. So what's next to x7? We do to one side, do the other. Boom, there it is. 4 7s. Is that good? Getting the hang of these fractions a little better? Think I can answer on that? Good? Yeah, now well.
When she switched the 7,
Just ignore the laughter. Go ahead.
we don't need to make it negative? No. It's exactly like the...
Exactly like it is. If it was negative, I would divide by negative. If it's positive, no, why? Why? Well, because if I did negative, remember, we're not subtracting, we're dividing. So 7 divided by 7 would still be God, but then I'd have this extra negative sign. So x wouldn't be alone, there'd be an extra minus sign there. I don't want that. I want nothing left.
So exactly the number is there.
Exactly.
Don't switch a negative to the other.
Right. When do we switch? We switch if we're adding, subtracting. But for dividing, we use the same. Everybody see Manuel's question? It's a good one. Right? When we add, subtract, we do opposite sign. But for the divide step, same sign, huh? If that was a negative 7x, I would divide by negative 7. If it's positive, I divide by positive. Because 2 negatives make positive. That's why it's same for the divide step. Okay, good question. Okay, so there is number 10. There's number 10. Now, how are we going to do this one? How are we going to do number 10? Well, is there a denominator? So, first order of business. Call the hitman, take out that denominator, right? Take it out. So what's going to take out that denominator? 8. Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. How many fractions are on the left side? 1. That's 1 fraction, isn't it? So it's just going to get 1/8, is my point. Because that's only 1 fraction, huh? So 8 there and 8 there. Is that good so far? There's only 1 fraction on the left side, so it only gets 1/8, huh? Everybody tracking with me? You give that 8 to everybody, but there's only 1 big thing on the left side, 1 big fraction. Isn't there? They're not separate, are they? 1/8. 1/8. All right. Let him do his job. What's his job? Take out denominators, right? He's a hitman. So don't fail to let him do his job. In other words, don't multiply 9 times 8. If you do that, you didn't let him do his job. What's he supposed to do? Why is he on the scene? To take out that denominator, right? Let him do his job. So, boom. That's what'll happen, huh? He takes out the denominator. He's gone. So I guess he's kind of a suicide hitman, but whatever. The analogy breaks down. He dies in the process. All right. So is that good to there? And we have no more fractions, huh? Right? He does his job. He takes out the denominator so that we have no more fractions. All right, so take it from there. It'll be easier now. There's no more fractions.
You take that minor value.
Okay, so that 9 will go boom, boom, and we'll get 45 minus 9x is minus 8x. Is that good? Keep going. What's the next step? Tell me about it. Can you explain to me? Perfect. Yeah. Excellent. You want to look? So the 45 x is on.
It's plus. So I make minus.
That's it. When x is on opposite sides.
And I make 25 plus. No, it goes to the other side. It's negative. So,
No, it's not like that. It's just better where it's at.
5. And I have a minus.
Yeah, right.
Divided.
Now, when I do that, when I try
So I make a plus.
If you're gonna do it this way, we have to get x by itself, right? So we would subtract 45 from both sides, right? That would leave x negative still. So you divide by negative 1. That makes it positive, so x is 45.
Okay. So this is, I put this as 1. Like that? I did the wrong way or what? Or I have to use it the other way?
No, you don't. So if you did it this way, what you'd be left with is 45 x. Right? If we have to get x by itself, we would add x. Add x.
Right there. How about that? All right, so let me help with this one. So on this line, I want to make sure everybody's comfortable with this line. So when x is on opposite, when there are x's on opposite sides, when x is on opposite sides, do the opposite of the lower to both sides. So what we want to do here is get rid of one of those guys. And so we always get rid of the lower one. Which one's the lower one? Doesn't matter where it sits. We don't care about where it sits. Wherever it is. Which look. Yeah, minus 9 is lower than minus 8. It's more negative. Right? So get rid of the lower one. So add 9x. Boom. Is that good? And what does that leave us? Let's bring this down. And what's 9x minus 8x? X done. Everybody see that? That x on opposite sides thing making sense? So you don't want x in two places, do you? So just like we don't want fractions, we take them out. We don't want x in two places, we take one of them out by doing the opposite. Okay. Let's try this one. There's no fractions here. He seems to like you.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they like you.
Yeah, no fractions on this one, so go right into the parentheses. I'll multiply through those parentheses. So that 2 is up against the parentheses. Anything up against the parentheses wall multiplies? You do great. Keep going. So that 2 is anything right against the wall. See how there's nothing in the middle here? You've got anything right against the wall. Times, yeah. So take that 2 and draw it. And the 5 others. Yeah, the 2's not multiplying 5. It's multiplying 5. Yeah.
Let me go with you.
All right, so this 2 is going to distribute through the parentheses, huh? Anytime something's up against a parenthesis wall, it's going to multiply through those parentheses. So we get 5y plus 2y minus 14. Everybody see what happened there? I just bring down the 5y, and the 2 that's up against the parenthesis wall multiplies through it, and the 4 multiplies through, and then bring down the minus 2. Everybody see that? So anytime something's up against a parenthesis wall, it always multiplies through, doesn't it? Is that good so far? Now, what's going to happen next? What about these? Yeah, they're on the same side. They're just going to add together like terms, huh? 5y and 2y? 7y. Over here. 4 minus 2. 2.
Yes.
We good? Okay, now what do we do? We good to there? Okay, now what do we do at this point? X is on opposite sides. You want to get rid of one of them, huh? You don't want the y to be in two locations. So you get rid of one of them. Which one do we get rid of?
4y.
The lower one, the 4y. So subtract 4y from both sides. Is that making sense? And so then we get 3y minus 14. Bring down the 2. Like that. Is that good? Now, what y is saying, I want to be alone on my side of the wall. Get rid of everybody with me on my side of the wall so I can be alone. Right? So what are we going to do? Well, who do we want to get rid of?
14.
Y is saying, I want to be alone on my side of the wall. So we got to get rid of that 14, huh?
Get rid of 14. 14 plus 14 and 14 plus 14 on this side.
Bring it down. 16. Last step. What's the last step always?
Divide by the exact number.
Exact same number in front of y. 16 over 3. How we doing? How's that going for you? Questions I can answer on that? Is that good? All right. Okay, so there's number 14. Scout fractions. Try that one. Okay, so we're going to try to get rid of the denominator. Right? Whenever we have fractions, that's our first order of business. Clear away all those fractions. So how do you know what's going to do that? Well, you just multiply the denominators together, don't you? 7 times 9? 63. You can use calculators on the test and everything. So 63, 63, 63, and 63. It's got to be all of them, right? Equal treatment. Everybody has to get a 63. Right? We always do the same thing to both sides all the way across. Is that good? Now, where do we go from here?
We divide.
Yeah, it's a hitman time, right? What is the job of that 63? To take out denominators, right? We don't like denominators. You don't like fractions, do you? We're taking them out, right? That's what the common denominator thing is doing. So these cancel. Divided on your calculator, 63 divided by 7 would be 9. Don't forget the x that's there. Here, it's just 1 times 63.
Minus.
Right? Here, 63 divided by 9.
7.
And 1 times 63 is 63. Is that good? Okay. There's the wall. No more fractions, right? The hitman did his job. He took out all the fractions. So, now, x is saying, I want to be alone. Now, we have x's on opposite sides. Opposite sides. What do we always do when x is on opposite sides? We do the opposite of that. We get rid of one of them, basically. Right? Would it help if I wrote that? You get rid of get rid of the lower x by doing the opposite of it, right? We get rid of the lower x. So who's the lower x? 7x. So I will... Now, would it be a good idea to just go like minus 7? This is what I see a lot. That's not right. Why is that not right? Yeah, am I trying to get rid of just the 7? Or do I want to get rid of the whole 7x? The whole 7x, huh? That's what's wrong with that.
That's the last thing you have to do.
Oh, is the divide just the number off? Right, Manuel, that's right. That's right. Is everybody good there? So always be thinking about what you're trying to do. You're trying to get rid of the whole 7x, not just the 7. At the end, we'll get just rid of the number like Manuel said. That's right. At the end, we'll get just the number. So we got 2x minus 63 is 63. Just bring that down, huh? X is saying, what is always saying? I want to be alone on this side of the wall. So how do we get x alone on his side of the wall? Add 63 to both. Boom, gone. Bring down the 2x. This is 126. Last step is always divide by identically what's next to x. Right? Just exactly what's next to x. Divide on both sides. So that'd be 2, 2, boom. X is, what is that? 63, yeah. X is 63. Not making sense. How are we doing? Are we happy about that? Questions on that? Is happy too strong a word? You'll be happy if you can do them right, I'm assuming. So, all right, so if you're having trouble with this, if you're not getting these and not making sense, so there's resources, right? So Shelby's there in the tutoring center, and I'm sure there's other tutors too, and you've got the YouTubes. You can go on and watch them again. You can solve the problems again. I, a lot of times, would have to just solve problems over again that my math teacher had done, to kind of learn. You learn in a language, and it's a hard language. It's like Chinese or something. It's hard, right? So it takes lots of practice to get it down. Okay, so let's try number 6. Let me rewrite it a little bigger for you. So 3/4 x minus 1 plus a half x equals 3/8 x plus 1/4. Okay, so there we go. Bunch of fractions. This is like the last one in the section, thus the hardest. So what's the first thing you're going to do? Call the hitman. Take out those denominators, right? We want no more fractions. Now, what's a number? Let's focus. Let's focus on all the denominators. 4, 2, 8, 4. Those are all the things under bars. Right? Those are all the denominators. 4, 2, 8, 4. Now, you don't have to multiply them all together. Do you know a number that they all go into?
8. The number
8.
2.
They go into 16 also, but 8 is the lowest number they all go into. 8 would be the easiest. 16 is true also. You can do 16, it'll work. But the numbers will be simpler if you use 8. Because 8's the lowest common denominator. It's the LCD. It's the lowest number they go into. So I would use 8. That'll be easiest. What are you going to do with that 8? Top, 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 top. All the way across, right? Everybody gets an 8. And then cancel. Take out denominators. So 8, 8. So everybody gets an 8, right? All the terms get an 8. And then cross cancel. 4 goes into 8. Remember, let him take it out. 8 divided by 4? 2. Just, and what's left over when you divide? When you divide, what's left over multiplies, doesn't it? 2 times 3? 6. X. Can you do the next part? Does everybody see what happened there? 8 divided 4, they cancel. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And the leftover 2 and 3, leftover from the canceling, didn't cancel. Survived the battle with the hitman, right? 2 and 3 is 6. You with me? You divide, they cancel, and whatever's left over multiplies.
Okay. You got everything? We simplify the x's. So we take the lower x. So that will be minus 3x.
Enter 10 sevenths. 10 sevenths. 10 sevenths. Let's see it. Plus, and 8 times 1 is 8. Everybody good there? Now what happens here? 2 into 8. 8 divided by 2, yeah, 4. 4x, huh? Good there. 8 cancels 8, 3x. Plus, we're going too quick. 8 divided by 4, 2. Leftovers multiply, 1 times 2, 2. That good? No more fractions. Hitman took them out. So now, what do we do with x's on the same side?
10 minus 3x.
They add together.
Yeah, right here.
6x and 4x. These will add 10x. So we good to there. So far so good. Right? The x is on the same side, just add it, 6x and 4x. Now, what do we do at this point?
Get rid of the minor x.
Yeah, whenever you have x's on opposite sides, get rid of the lower one, huh? You don't want x in 2 places. 2 locations to serve you. We don't want that. We don't want x in 2 places. Get rid of the lower one. So that would be what? Minus 3x gone. So we get 7x minus 8 is 2. Good there. We always get rid of the lower one. Carlos, you keep knocking that fly back here. I want him to stay back there by you. All right. I'm sure you're feeling the same. All right, so this x wants to be alone. Add the 8. And we get 7x is 10, because x wants to be alone. Last step is always divide by the identical twin. Exactly what's next to x. 10 sevenths. How we doing? Is that making some good sense?